We'll get started because I know we have a really busy meeting and then followed by a celebration. Je m'appelle Rebecca Alty, je suis la ministre des Relations couronnes autochtones et députée des Territoires du Nord-Ouest. Je suis née et j'ai grandi à Yellowknife, j'habite là quand même, sur le territoire du traité numéro 8, le territoire du chef Draigis. My thanks to President Obed and all Inuit leaders and dignitaries who have welcomed us here today. I had the chance to see many of you since our last meeting, including just last week or week before that. But it's great to be back here in one room again. And of course, it's also great to be joined by my ministerial colleagues, Mr. McGuinty, Minister Chartrand, Minister LeBlanc, Minister Robertson, and Minister Golmasti. Thank you again for joining. Beaucoup de choses se sont passées depuis notre dernière réunion. Pour le gouvernement du Canada, le fait marquant a été le budget fédéral que nous avons déposé au début du mois et qu'on vient de passer lundi passé. Budget 2025 is an investment budget. It makes generational investments aimed at taking this hinge moment in our history and turning it into a generational opportunity for Inuit and for all Canadians. More specifically, the budget makes several critical investments in Inuit Nunangat and throughout the North. Just this past Friday, in my hometown of Yellowknife, I announced $1 billion that our government will be putting forward for a new Arctic infrastructure fund that supports major trade and transportation projects. Projects that reinforce our sovereignty, enable regional economic development, and better connect Inuit and Northern communities. This builds on the other important news that we delivered just a couple of weeks ago in Iqaluit alongside President Jeremy Tunraluk. There we announced that we were referring the Iqaluit Hydroelectric Project to the Major Projects Office. This project is 100% Inuit owned and will replace the city's reliance on diesel-generated electricity. Once operational, it will cut greenhouse gas emissions by 130,000 tons every year and replace the 15 million litres of imported diesel that currently power Iqaluit with clean, renewable hydropower. To support work like this and additional projects across the country, our government is providing the Canada Infrastructure Bank with an extra $10 billion a year so that critical projects can move forward. But we know that we cannot stop there. If we're building big infrastructure, we also need to build our communities. That means building more homes and the infrastructure that supports strong communities. To do that, we're investing $51 billion to provide ongoing funding to build roads, water and wastewater infrastructure, hospitals and colleges and universities, including Inuit Nunangat University, Canada's first Inuit university. And when it comes to building homes, our Building Canada Homes plan will partner with Nunavut Housing Corporation to build over 700 public, affordable, and supportive housing units. I know that as a government, we're really looking forward to advancing that work with NTI and the government of Nunavut to get these homes built. Another key investment highlighted in the budget is the $2.8 billion for urban, rural, and Northern Indigenous housing. Also in the budget are some important steps to improve healthcare services. Budget 2025 announces that we'll be undertaking a comprehensive assessment of healthcare and health infrastructure needs in the North, with the goal of identifying innovative ways to increase access to healthcare in Northern communities and reduce medical travel costs. At the same time, we'll continue to work with territorial and Inuit governments to improve our collaboration and coordination of territorially insured healthcare services so that Inuit Nunangat residents have seamless access to the medical services they need. And finally, Budget 2025, we're making the National School Food Program and distinctions-based funding for First Nations, Inuit, and Métis permanent. This will ensure that no child ever goes to school hungry. All the work that we've identified in the budget and the priorities that we will be discussing here today reflect the whole of government approach that we're taking. Priorities raised here, housing, healthcare, infrastructure, and economic opportunities, are not for any one minister or department. They're for all of us to work together on in partnership. Notre engagement est clair. La réconciliation et l'autodétermination guident tout ce que nous faisons. Les nouvelles politiques et les nouveaux outils n'ont d'importance que s'ils contribuent à l'atteinte des objectifs que vous vous êtes fixés et ils s'améliorent la vie des familles de l'Inuit Nunangat et du Nord. Once again, I want to thank everyone for their leadership and for making time to be here today. I know how long the journey is for us across the North. I'm looking forward to ideas and building solutions together. Merci, thank you, Masicho, and Kwana.
Nakomik. First, I'd like to welcome everyone to Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami. It's the first time that we've held an Inuit-Crown Partnership Committee leaders meeting here in our building. So a very warm welcome to all of our visitors. Also, just Minister Alty, this is your first ICPC co-chair responsibility, so look forward to working through this agenda with you. The Inuit-Crown Partnership Table was created in 2017, and it's based on a central premise that the Government of Canada will always have priorities in relation to Inuit and the Canadian Arctic, and Inuit leadership will also have priorities in relation to our homeland and our self-determination. When we come together, we can create joint priority areas and joint work plans and see that work through. This is meant to be a transformative space that ensures that rights-holding Inuit across Inuit Nunangat work directly with the federal government to see massive changes within our homeland. And in this time where there is instability in the circumpolar Arctic, and especially considering the ambitions of this government for nation-building projects, bringing Inuit Nunangat into Canada is an exercise that takes a lot of collaboration and takes a lot of consideration of Inuit communities and Inuit rights holders and the implementation of our treaties. We look forward on building on the success that we've had through products like the Inuit Nunangat policy, which was endorsed in April 2022 from this table that was endorsed as a federal policy, to the work that we've done on housing, creating a co-developed Inuit Nunangat housing strategy together, and other key outcomes from this table, including reconciliation measures like apologies for residential schools or tuberculosis. We can do these things together, and we can do these things in a respectful way that underlines the shared governance we have within this nation state. Too often, Canadians see governance through the lens of provinces and territories and the federal government. Inuit are either fee simple landholders or co-manage 40% of Canada's landmass, 72% of its coastline. We are an essential part of the construction of this country, and the diplomatic relations that we have with Canada through the federal government are underlined through the processes that we want to use to get shared outcomes and shared results. So today, we look forward to conversations on the 2025 budget, on our Inuit Nunangat University, on sovereignty and defense, on addressing the infrastructure gap and our housing needs, as well as the socioeconomic status of Inuit, especially through issues like tuberculosis and the ongoing need for Inuit children's equity through the Inuit Child First Initiative. We are hopeful that this will continue to be a space that we develop together and have shared outputs for the betterment of Canadians, Inuit, and the future of this country. Nakomik.
With that, we will thank the media for attending, appreciate, and I believe, are these mics for, yeah.